Next, let's take a look at mobs. So I'm going to go ahead and create a mob. So I'm just going to use, I guess we'll use character 2 for this one. And I'm just going to drop him beside me. And I'm not going to worry about playing around with what equipment he has on him. I'll let you set your mob up the way you want. And I'm just going to shrink down my assets. And the main script we're going to be using for our mob is called mob. And I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Unity, or sorry, in MonoDevelop, and I'm going to add it to our component menu as well. So add component, menu, the name we want to assign it. So I'm just going to say, again, I forgot my quotes. And I can put it under a mob submenu, and I'm just going to say all mob scripts. And I'll just let that save off. Go up to my component menu. It's not there yet. It can take a bit, and there we go, mob. So I'll select my mob, and I'll add his scripts to it. And it says I'm losing my prefab, which is fine. And let's take a look to see what it has. So it has this transform. I'm not going to be playing with that. We have its animations, and it doesn't look like I have any built in. We'll get back to that. We have our character controller, we have a sphere collider, and we have the mob script itself. I'm going to start with this, the character controller. It's just like the one we have on our player. We just want to take it and move it to encompass all of our mob. So a little bit higher. So right about there, and I'm going to make it a little bit skinnier. Not quite that skinny. And I actually do want to make it just a little bit shorter. So that looks good. I can close that down. And the sphere collider. Make sure it's is trigger. Now in the script we have it set to automatically flip it to is trigger if you do happen to forget, but since I remember it, I'm going to do it. And the sphere trigger is used for when the player enters basically the area of influence that the mob has, and it basically wakes the mob up, and well, the mob starts going through his AI deciding what to do. So let's go ahead and center this sphere. I'm going to want to move it up. Probably around to his midpoint, and I'm going to want to increase its radius. And it's going to be different for each type of mob. Some mobs you might want to be able to detect, from really far away, and some mobs you want to be able to detect from very short distances. As default, I'm just going to set this one to 4, and I am going to grab my character and move him away a bit so he doesn't start off in the sphere of influence for our mob. I'm actually going to start renaming some of these things too. And I'm going to call this skeleton. And I'm going to call this player. So let's go back to our skeleton. For now, we're manually setting the current health and max health. So I am going to start him off at 80 current health and 100 max health. So he's at 80% health. So we have that done. We have this done. Now I do have to set some animations up for him, and I'm going to do the exact same ones, the basic ones. So I'm going to open up my pack. I'm going to go into characters, and well, I know I'm going to want an idle animation. So I'll just start off by grabbing idle, and I'll drag it in there. I guess we should increase this. I'm probably going to want at least a walk, and let's see what kind of attacks he has. So this one here has a bunch of guns. He has the sword and wand as well. We're just going to make this kind of a melee mob. So I'm going to start off with, let's just do the sword action. I haven't actually really sat down and looked through all the different animations. But we'll just add the sword action for now. So we'll take the clip, drag it up here. And we'll also add the walk. So I'll take walk and we'll put that up here. Okay, and apparently it looks like we're missing a couple scripts here. We're missing our AI script. Let me just close this down. Let's close down all the assets. We'll open up the scripts. We're missing the AI script and the advanced movement script. So I'm going to make those required components on our mob script. So we'll go back into Mono Develop, and you can just take one of these and just cut and paste it. The first one will be AI. And the second one was advanced movement. There we go. And just to make sure it's actually working, you could go ahead and remove all the components and then do it again, or you could just double click. There we go. I'm not sure if it's going to reset these. It apparently didn't, because everything's still there. But now we have these scripts. So let's start off. We'll open up the advanced movement because we're going to have to assign some animations here. And for my walk animation, I just have walk. And for my run animation, I'm also going to use walk as well. I didn't assign a run. And I actually don't have an attack animation set up yet. But we do have one there for when we do. Now the mobs in my game are made to not necessarily be free roaming, but to be spawned from a spawn point. So we'll probably get a null reference error when we try to run it right now, because it won't be able to find its parent, which is supposed to be a spawn point. But let's just go ahead and see if there's any other errors that pop up with it. And we're actually getting 2 of them, it looks like. And his behavior probably isn't going to work yet. So we got another null reference. So let's stop it and take a look at these null references. So we'll just look at the first one. And the first one has to do with the fact that he's not being spawned under a spawn point. In my game, I want everything to be spawned under a spawn point. So for now, I'm just going to leave that. Let's go look at the next one. And the next one is right here, where we're trying to call the jump anim. And since we don't have the jump animation assigned to anything, we have to put that check to see if it's equal to empty again. So just like we did down below, if jump anim name is equal to an empty string, I guess we're going to have to say if it's not equal to an empty string, then we'll do this jump anim stuff and we'll put it in there. And let's go down and take a look at the third null reference. And the third null reference, again, has to do with not being under a spawn point. So I'm just going to quickly restart it. It should clear. And I just wanted to make sure that the animation one is working. I forgot to set up my idle animation. That's right. So we'll just set that up now. And we'll clear it. We'll start it up. And we're getting the one about not being near our home location, which is fine. I'll rotate, start running towards them. And there we go. So now that we actually got the skeleton set up, let's go ahead and actually create a prefab out of them. I just want to make sure the target is set to when we get too close to them. That can actually be switched to private, but for now I've left it public. As you see, he's targeting me. And the mob script, we just set the, oh, we don't have any health down here. So we'll set it to 80 of 100. And that should be pretty much all we need to do to get it set up. So let's create a prefab. We're going to create a new folder for prefabs. And in this folder, I'm going to create another folder, and I'm going to call it mobs. And in that folder, I'll create a prefab, and I'm just going to call it skeleton melee for now. And I'll just take him, drag him on. It should turn blue, the little box here, and the name should also turn blue. So we have him set up. Next, I want to start working on our mob generation script as well as spawn points. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's get rid of the skeleton for now since we have made a prefab of them. And I'm going to create an empty game object, and I'm not worried about its transform. And I'm going to call this Game Master. And this game object is responsible for holding all of the scripts that actually keep the game running. And the first one is Game Master. So I'll close down my prefabs, my scenes, and we'll open this up. And Game Master. Actually, instead of just double clicking everything again, let's actually go ahead and make sure it adds itself to the top. So add component menu, the string we want, and I'm going to call this master scripts. Actually, let's call them managers because later on we'll be turning them into managers. And I'm just going to call this one Game Master. And the two other scripts that I want to add to our component manager under the managers will be the target mob and mob generator. So I'm actually just going to cut and paste this line into those scripts. And I guess I'll save that one. And I'm going to go ahead and, well, we'll fish them out. The first one was target mob, which I actually accidentally put it in the obsolete folder. So I'll just drag that out. I'll open that up. And I'm just going to add it to the top here, and I'm just going to call it targeting. I'll save that off. And I'll load up my mob generator next. So there's my mob generator. And I'll put this here and rename it. There we go. So now I'm going to take this game master that I made and I'm going to add these components to it, all three managers. So we got the game master, we have the mob generator, and we have targeting.